Hello friends, let's check out the 5G sector starting with our 5G ETF. Yesterday's candlestick was very telling, that big volume, that indecision candlestick, that nice tight doji, and that low of 2683 getting locked in today is our daily high or low. So we have our low, our high, our low, our high, our low, and now we're going for a new high. The question is, can we break 2743 and do we have the momentum to do it? Today's candlestick was just a standard candlestick, not really spinning top, a little bit of volatility in both directions, but overall, a little bit of upside move, never really hurts anyone. Looks like we do have an area resistance here on the hourly time frame. Our high pre-market, let's go right into 5 minute. Let's take a look at it. Our high pre-market held as a double top, or not even pre-market. Our initial high of the morning held as a double top. We lost that 5 minute uptrend, but didn't really see a lot of bearish follow through. So to me, that suggests nice, strong continuation tomorrow. What we need to do is open inside this range and break to the high of 27.28 pretty much right away. If we open lower, that changes the story. So it's all about where do we open relative to where we closed. Sometimes we get pre-market data. 5G does not offer us that. AVGO on the daily time frame, there's that similar daily low being set. I expected more downside to come because we had this opening broadening range, and I hope I alluded to that. But looking at these candlesticks, I would suspect that we would see downside continuation. Bulls buy the dip a little bit here, but we still have this confluence of our EMAs 12, 26, and 8 to worry about. Bulls certainly made a go of it today. If we go to the 5 minute time frame, we'll likely see some of that hesitation. And there we go, a little bit, not quite an equilibrium, but we did lose our lows, no follow through, and a little bit of volatility. You can see that range opening up into the end of the day. So not a lot of clarity on today's AVGO 5 minute time frame. We're a little bit too extended for me to call this hourly bull flag. You may look at it, if you find a way to let's do it. Let's look at the hourly time frame. Let's go right to the 2 hour time frame. Somehow, if we force our ability to do it, we will find ourselves a little bit of a bull flag. And if we have to hunt around on different time frames to do it, you may call this a bull flag. What matters is we had upside continuation on the 5 minute time frame. We saw a loss of trend with no follow through, and that is what matters. When you lose a trend and you don't have any follow through, it is generally going to be a signal of strength in the other direction. So here's our loss of trend, no follow through, opening up into a broadening range. So keep an eye on AVGO tomorrow. If we do see strength getting ready early in the morning, what I need to see is bulls break today's high day. I will have us over our EMA 8 and 12 on the daily time frame, and that is what is important. MRVL, a similar show of strength. We had our daily low set. Let's try and get rid of these trend lines. So now what we need to do is see bulls stay above 24.56. Ultimately, we got rejected from our EMA 26. We've held our EMA 12, so right in that confluence, that area between those two major support and resistance lines at this point. So what we need to see is the bulls get over top of EMA 12. I don't care if they take 2 days to do it. What we need to do is stay above your EMA 12, get above our EMA 26, and then get over that pesky 25.78 resistance. That will have us changing this trend, because right now we're on lower highs and lower lows. If we don't get over top of 26 or EMA 26, we're going to be looking for another retest of 24.56. But right now, the overall 5G sector is suggestive of upside continuation. And if we're just using our 5G ETF, we want to see a break over top of 27.28, then that resistance at 27.34, and then it's new highs. So let's go look at SWKS. SWKS, a little bit of strength here as well. This opening range seems to have picked a daily higher low at 115.60. I don't like the upper wick here, and it does show a little bit of downside continuation. This is a close over all 3 of our EMAs, but it's not really a strong one. So I'll be a little bit cautious here. Looking on the hourly time frame, we are in a slight hourly uptrend coming up right against support. So bulls need to stay above 118.90, and I would look for a high volume 5 minute trend change early in the morning if we are going to stay above. If we open above 118.90, that would have me a little bit interested in a longer term bull position and looking for continuation off of this 4 hour miniature uptrend. If we go to INSG on the daily time frame, here's a really, really strong open 4 hour channel. Stay right inside there. We closed or early on in the morning, we broke above 874. So let's go check that out. And there's that resistance from yesterday. Early morning, we break it. We set a new low, so our first range is established. Then we smash through 874, get a great pop against our trendline resistance, come down, hold EMA 26, and then it was a 5 minute uptrend for most of the day. Bulls closed very strong, and we are now outside this little 4-hour channel. So what I would expect to see would be some 4-hour consolidation, because we have not established 4-hour higher lows for quite some time. And then I would look to get rid of this channel and just focus on that 4-hour trend. ADI, our last ticker of the day, earnings related gap up. So we're seeing a lot of profit taking, and this changes the game a little bit for me. Whenever I'm looking at earnings, I'm always just watching that initial action, and I'm going to be rebuilding my areas of support and resistance. So the only other historical levels that I see as being important right now are going to be our high way over here of 124.79, and then I'm also going to be paying attention to our low, or I should say our high of day of the January 24th, which is going to be close to an area of support. Now, when I'm looking this far back, I just hold this line and I see, does this matter? On the 5-minute time frame, once we approach 124.79, does it matter? And did it matter today? Well, let's go take a look at the 5 and we'll see what's going on. Early on, we see that 124.79, maybe pre-market mattered, didn't matter so much today. So we'll get rid of that. There's our initial range. 122.39 is very close to 122.20, not close enough to consider it a double bottom if it happened to get there, but we'll keep those areas in mind. Now what we're going to be doing is watching for our trends to develop. We had a 5-minute downtrend for most of the day. We dropped below our little counter trend, so maybe 2-minute wedge here. We saw a bear break of that, and bulls did not, but the dip dropped too much, bounce off of our, well, that wasn't a bounce off of our low a day. We set our low a day, 122.92, and that is the day for ADI. So what are we going to be looking for going into tomorrow? Well, that is always the key. Once we get into a daily range like this, where we see a big gap up, like I said, we're all just focusing on today's action. And on the hourly time frame, we don't have a bull flag. We see that profit taking, but we're seeing some holding. So if the bulls can maintain sideways action above our EMA 8 and EMA 12, that is actually going to be bullish in the sense that we are not bearish, and we are accumulating and just stabilizing and building a base of support. On the 4-hour time frame, if we see a little bit of red, we may be able to make a case for a 4-hour bull flag at this point. I don't like this big upper wick, but it wasn't during trading or regular trading, was it? Let's take a look. All it was. So that is a concern for us. The prospect of building out a nice 4-hour bull flag is not as good as if this nice little upper wick wasn't here, but it's all about what the hourly bulls are able to do. Can we go sideways? Can we build a base of support? And if we do see that base of support, we need that bull volume to come into play. And an absolute hold for the bulls is going to be maintaining 122.92. If we lose that, we're likely going to see more profit taking on ADI. And we have a little bit of a gap here with not a lot of support built in. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you guys, and have a good night, and we'll check in probably tomorrow.